Hey, it's Juanita Wrestling, y'all. How's it going, guys? Hope you all are doing amazing. First of all, I want to say welcome to all of my new subscribers that I've gotten. I am so excited and I am thrilled to have you guys here. So welcome. And to my subscribers that have been with me day one, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for the support. Man, guys, I finally had an opportunity to catch my breath from what was an insane WrestleMania week in Dallas. Holy wrestling, guys. There was a lot of wrestling happening from start to finish. It was insane. But I will have to say, for me, one of the most memorable WrestleManias I've ever had. It was absolutely incredible. And the best part is that there was wrestling of like all kinds of different types and stuff like that, which I had the opportunity to get to go to, different types, different promotions and stuff like that while I was there in Dallas. So I'm just going to kind of go over everything as far as like my experiences and stuff. And I am going to tell you what my highlights were for me, what I enjoyed the most, what I wasn't too crazy about, and what I'm looking forward to, hopefully, for Mania next year. So let me go ahead and just start off with the first day that I got there, which was on Thursday. And that started off WrestleMania week for me. It was GCW, okay? And I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with GCW and stuff like that, but it is a promotion that I was not aware of until about a year ago. Their style is definitely different from WWE and AEW. They are a lot more graphic, you guys. It's extreme, okay? Like really extreme. I don't know if you guys remember the ECW days back in the day. I think this promotion takes it to a whole other level, at least for me, because I really wasn't into ECW back in the day, so I'm not too familiar, but I mean, obviously I've seen since like videos and wrestling matches and stuff like that, but to see it, this type of wrestling in person and experience it, whoa, that's a whole other that's a whole other ball of game, guys. And speaking of, the reason why I'm wearing this little beanie here and the significance of this beanie is that when I went to GCW in Hammerstein back in January, I went to that show because it was the first time that the promotion was going to be at that type of venue. It was a very big deal for them. It was going to be their biggest crowd to date. And so for me, I really wanted to go because growing up watching WWE, watching Raw, if you guys, well, that's kind of aging me a little bit, so oops. But if you guys remember watching, I mean, that's where Raw was, being taped back in the day. So, but anywho, so of all the stuff and the merch and stuff that they had and everything like that, I wanted this beanie. I wanted the beanie. And so I was able to get it that night in New York and stuff like that or whatever. So there I was, like, all happy with my beanie, my GCW beanie and stuff like that. And later that night, I ended up going to Joey Janela's after party, and somehow my beanie disappeared. Never to be found ever again. And so I was super sad because apparently they were completely sold out, totally gone. No, you couldn't reorder them or couldn't order them online, anything. They were gone. So I kind of had given up on that. I even had one of my awesome friends and stuff like that, when they had gone to one of the shows uh, locally for where he was to see if they had them. They're like, no, we don't have any, blah, blah, blah. So anywho, so Thursday comes, we go to the first show. Now, mind you, the first show for GCW was, I believe, starting at 11. And we elected not to go to that first one. The first one we were going to be attending, I believe, started at like 3 o'clock, but there was going to be wrestling from 11 o'clock in the morning, if I recall correctly, all the way to like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, guys. I kid you not. I kid you not. That long. So anywho, so I went ahead and I had, saw that they had merch, and I was like, ooh, maybe they'll, whatever. So I had went to the one, and I had said, hey, by any chance, do you guys have, beanie, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, no, we don't have any here, but maybe if you go inside to where they're set up, maybe they'll have one there. So here I go, whatever. And I go to the merch table, and guys, sure enough, I kid you not, here was that beanie sitting right there on the table. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was so freaking happy, you guys, because I literally had been looking for another beanie for months, and I couldn't order it anywhere, nowhere to be found. They were sold out, blah, 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 blah. So when I saw it, I got all excited, and I was like, oh my gosh, yay. So when I went to go tell them, I'm like, can I please have that? I want that. And they were telling me, they're like, well, you kind of have to wait till the show starts so that way they can start selling, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well, can you please, guys, put it to the side because I want the beanie and stuff like that or whatever. And then they started to look around, and they're like, that's actually the only one we have. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, it's literally the only one that we have. And I'm like, well, can I please buy it from you like right now? And I'm like, okay, I can pick it up or whatever, but please, I need this beanie. And the gal, she was super sweet. She's like, no, you know what? She's like, I'm going to go ahead and sell it to you now and stuff like that. So I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm like, I got my GCW beanie back, so that right there kind of set the tone for me and stuff like that for that night. Now, the matches and stuff that they had, oh my gosh. Guys, look, I'm not going to front. I am scared of like blood and like violence and stuff like that. And when I tell you there is violence and blood, like I am not joking. Like you have to have a special kind of taste for this type of wrestling, you guys. I mean, it is extreme. It is definitely extreme. It is nothing like I said, I've experienced before with the other wrestling promotions. I mean, it is like for real hardcore. And I made the mistake of wearing some new shoes, to this event that was called Blood Sport, you guys. It was called Blood Sport. But I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to be in the first row, so like I should be fine or whatever. No, you guys, I ended up getting blood on my brand new white shoes. Okay. I was like so freaking upset. I was like, oh my gosh, are you serious right now? I was so upset or whatever, but luckily I was able to get the blood off of my shoes. Guys, blood off of my shoe. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But the show itself, I was particularly wanting to see it because of course, Jon Moxley was going to be there, and you can tell, guys, I don't know if you guys have seen him fight with a GCW yet, but you could tell he genuinely loves that ish. Like he loves that type of stuff. I think he honestly gets like a natural high from that alone. I mean, it's incredible. And then if you guys are familiar with New Japan Pro Wrestling, Minoru Suzuki was there also. And guess who else was performing that night also, guys? Freaking Johnny Wrestling, okay? All right? John Morrison, aka Mayor of Slamtown, he was there. Okay, he was there also. And then freaking we had also, which I was particularly super happy and excited about, because I had never gotten a chance to see her wrestle live before. And that's, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank. Oh my goodness. I feel like, I feel so messed up right now. She fought the wrestler Alley Catch. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, guys, I can't believe I'm forgetting. Oh my gosh, like, I see. Oh my goodness. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on her name. I literally grew up watching her. Oh my gosh. She was the Impact Knockout champion. Oh my gosh, you guys, I cannot believe I am drawing a blank on her name. Holy moly. That's how I'm, like, clearly, guys, I'm still not fully, like, at 100%, because, like, I'm drawing a blank on this wrestler, and she literally was one of my favorites, you know, watching her back in the day. And I'm literally drawing a blank on Mickie James. Oh my God, you guys. Psh, psh. I can't believe I drew a blank on her name. Good grief. But yes, she was there and stuff like that. And I finally got to see her wrestle live and stuff like that. Guys, can I just say, she is like literally like fine wine. I mean, she looks amazing. Okay, like amazing. So as far as for night one and stuff like that of GCW, it was freaking awesome. It was awesome. It was literally everything I was expecting it to be, and then some. One of the things that, you know, I particularly liked or enjoyed about that is that I have a friend of mine who went and for his first time to GCW. So it was his first time getting to watch GCW and to find out what that was about. And, you know, it was just insane, like, seeing his reaction and like seeing how like all that stuff was. I thought it was great, because I had my friend who had introduced me to GCW last year, and then I now have gotten to do that for someone else. And then I'm halfway through, I'm telling my friend, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I'm like, I've gotten you like into this, like, what, but, you know, I could tell he enjoyed it and he had a good time, and, you know, obviously, and stuff like that. You know, he's going to like keep, you know, going to GCW because it's freaking awesome. Again, if you have the taste for that type of wrestling, I would definitely not take children to that show. But surprisingly, there was maybe a good handful of kids there. But me, guys, if it was me and I had kids, I would not take them to that. I honestly would not. That's too much. Okay, that's too much. But I will leave that to you guys to decide and stuff like that. So now the second day, there was more GCW wrestling going on. But in addition to that, we were going to have what is, for me, the match I was looking forward to, the one I was literally like the most excited about to be attending. And that was the Supercard of Honor. And that was to see this match right here, you guys. Okay. Now, for me, guys, this was my absolute favorite match of the entire weekend as far as wrestling matches. There was a couple of other ones, don't get me wrong, that I thoroughly enjoyed, but for me, as far as story, you know, the actual, you know, wrestling and stuff, this was it. This was my favorite match. This was an incredible, beautiful work of art, you guys. It was incredible. And if you guys have not seen this match yet, I highly, highly recommend that you do. I mean, it was an incredible match. It was amazing from beginning to end. It was, for me, that's going to be when people ask me about tag team wrestling, that's going to be one of the matches that I talk about because it was absolutely incredible. It was, I can't, you know, say anything. Oh man. Oh, Cody. We'll get to him in a second. It was awesome. It was awesome. It was incredible. And the respect that they gave each other after the match and stuff like that, it was awesome. It was incredible. It was beautiful. So that was lovely. Now, the fact that Tony Khan is now the owner of Ring of Honor, it really gives me hope for Ring of Honor, the brand, because I mean, look what he's done with AEW, guys. I mean, he truly loves wrestling, you know? And so for me, I know that he's going to do what's best, you know? And I think being able to blend the two together could be a good thing because again, this is what happened with this match here with these guys, and they gave us an instant classic. I mean, so I'm hoping that we can have still Ring of Honor and then have AEW. So, you know, we could still get a little of a variety and also potentially have, you know, these potential crossover, you know, matches and stuff. So we shall see. But I'm very happy and I'm excited to see what Tony has in store for Ring of Honor. So we'll see what happens there. Now, the next, as far as big match or the big event that happened, was NXT Stand and Deliver. Now, for me, you guys, I have to say that the match I looked forward to the most, that I enjoyed the most, I should say, is the ladder match where, you know, Mr. Cameron Grimes to the moon won and became champ that night. I was so happy for him. I've literally followed him since the very beginning, since when he came on to NXT, and so to get to see him climb to the top and reach for the gold, it was so freaking great. I was so happy for him. I will have to say, which, you know, because I've been watching NXT for quite some time, I have to tell you guys, it kind of made me a little sad to see how empty like the arena was, because I remember when NXT would literally sell out the arena, and like, I mean, that was like the place to go and watch professional wrestling. I mean, that's where we got like the best quality of wrestling, you know, going on. And like for me, for example, like that ladder match, I mean, it was a great match. I mean, those guys went out there, you know, they put it all in the ring. But like I said, you know, as far as the attendance and everything like that, man, it just wasn't what it used to be. And I'm just like, yo, like, man, it makes me a little sad to see that, you know? And speaking of, with Tommaso Ciampa, you guys, I mean, man, that pulled on my heartstrings. I mean, it really did, because for me, that really was the last guy, you know, who represented the black and gold brand. And then seeing Triple H come out, you know, when he was done with his match, and, you know, him embracing him, man, guys, that made me feel some type of way, guys. Oh man, it just, my wrestling heart, you know, it was just a lot, you know, it was a lot. But, you know, for what it is, you know, we're now in a new era, and, you know, I mean, we have to go with it, you know, we have to roll with it. And I think they're, you know, making the effort, and they're trying, you know, to give us, you know, quality matches, you know. I think they're trying, you know, so we can be entertained, because ultimately that's what WWE is them entertaining us. And now, you know, NXT 2.0, I feel, is, you know, in that direction as well, as far as entertaining us, you know. So I was entertained. I was entertained by NXT, I will say that. So that's that. Then here we go with night one of WrestleMania. Man, you guys, I have to say, my expectations were not that high. I'm not gonna lie. I was actually just more excited to, be with my friends and, get to experience, AT&T Stadium, because I had heard all these things about how, like, magnificent it is, and it's just like its own entity and everything like that. So I will have to say, I was in complete awe. That thing was huge, and it was, oh man, but it was great in there. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I definitely enjoyed it 1,000 times more than I did last year when I was here in my backyard, at Raymond James Stadium, where it literally like rained, and it was just this craziness weather that we were having. So the weather was great, and even if it wasn't, it wouldn't matter because they have the retractable roof. So it was amazing in there. So if I have to talk about, or I have to talk about, the couple of things that stood out to me in night one that, are particularly like OMG moments for me, is obviously we found out. Oh, bear with me, guys. He showed up, guys. He showed up. And I think we all knew, like, he was going to be there. But man, in the fashion that he came, I'm like, wow, he still had his same song and everything, which I was not expecting that at all. And can I just say props to Cody, because he had an amazing match with Seth Rollins. That was an actual, like, legit wrestling match, you guys. And I absolutely loved that, because for me, I feel like I haven't seen Seth in like an actual real wrestling match in quite some time. So getting to see them two go at it the way they did, man, it was awesome. Like, I really enjoyed it because, again, we get a lot of this entertainment going on, and I'm just like, okay, some of it, like, okay, but no, I want to see wrestling. I want to see actual wrestling. So getting him to come out and face Seth, and have that great match and that pop that he got, man, that was incredible. Like, oh, I get goosebumps right now still just thinking about it, and the whole thing with him, like, about him jumping ship, or like him going back, like, I've had people ask me like how I feel about it, and things like that. And for me, I'm not upset at all. I think, he's got a lot to prove to himself, and, and there's some unfinished business, or there's, things that he wants to accomplish, and, I'm not going to follow him for that. The only thing that really kind of just got under my skin, that kind of was just like, oh, is, which he's already talked about and addressed and stuff like that, is like all the bashing that he did, while he was, with AEW, saying all those things and stuff like that about WWE, and like, taking jabs at, Triple H and everything like that. And I'm just like, man, come on, really? And then what do? You come right back. But, again, it is what it is. I'm not upset at the fact that he came back, because, I don't know if it was him that said it, or someone, or somewhere where I heard that, he doesn't belong to AEW, WWE. He belongs to professional wrestling. So that kind of stuck with me, and that's why I was like, yeah, I get that. I get that. So I'm very hopeful for him. We'll see. He was well received, so I'm very, very much excited to see, where this path takes him. So we'll see. Now, the other thing, which for me was the highlight, which, well, I have to talk about real quick, because I love him. Drew, guys. Oh my God, he's so perfect. And that's all I have to say about that. But the one match that I was super excited about, that I marked out, that I turned into a kid as far as with night one, was the main event with, you know, Kevin Owens and Stone Cold Steve Austin, you guys. My heart is bursting right now because I never got the opportunity to see Stone Cold wrestle live. You know, growing up and stuff like that, you know, we didn't have the money and stuff like that to get to go. So, I mean, I got to see him on TV and everything like that, but I never actually got to see him wrestle live in person. So getting to have that, guys, it was something that I thought that I would never get to experience. So that was great. That was great. The kid in me was screaming, bursting. It was special. It was really special. Now, going into the second night, sorry guys, I gotta take a moment because it gets me emotional thinking about that. Now, the second night, you know, as far as like surprises and like things like that, you know, at that point I'm like, okay, we know what we have going on, and, you know, matches and stuff like that or whatever. So for me, I have to tell you guys, the match that Brock and Roman had, I mean, it went longer than what I thought it was going to go. And I thought it was going to be just a whole, you know, suplex city, you know, and then 1, 2, 3, and it was going to be over. But no, I mean, they put on a match, and I mean, we still have Roman Reigns as as the WWE champion, the undisputed WWE champion. But that's all I have to say about that. But yeah, I will have to say, and I'm going to try to say it without getting emotional, my favorite moment of night 2 has to be when Pat McAfee and Austin Theory, oh my gosh, you guys, I enjoyed that match way more than I should have. I literally was on the edge of my seat. I freaking loved that match. I think what I liked even more though was what happened after. And that was getting to see Papa Vince, you guys. I got to see Papa Vince get in that ring, have his own match. I mean, it sucks that he was beating up on Pat because I love him. But, I mean, getting to see Vince in the ring and throw in some, you know, I loved that. I freaking loved that because, again, with me, I never got to experience Vince McMahon in the ring or anything like that live. So getting to see that, the kid in me was, again, just bursting with happiness because I was like, oh my God, this is really happening. Look, guys, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it because I was like, never in my wildest dreams did I think that I was going to get to see Vince McMahon in a ring have a match. And then guess what happens, you guys? Guess what happens? The glass shatters and here comes Stone Cold Steve Austin. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, look, guys, okay. And there he is. He's going down the ramp, gets into the ring, and oh my goodness, gives the freaking stunner of the year to freaking Austin Theory. Oh my gosh, this dude, he's gonna be a star. Okay, and I've been saying this and people give me a hard time or make fun of me, but Austin Theory is literally the future. Okay, he's literally going to be the guy. Okay, mark my words, it's gonna happen. He's it. But oh my gosh, seeing him take that stunner, oh my God, I was living for that, you guys. That was incredible. So then once he got out of the ring, who did we have left in the ring, guys. We had Stone Cold Steve Austin and freaking Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Oh my God. I'm gonna cry right now, you guys. Oh my gosh, stop. Sorry, my bad. I never, ever would have ever thought in my life that I would get to see Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon in the ring ever again. Well, in person, live, because I never got the opportunity during the Attitude Era when they had all that. I didn't get to go to any of the shows, you know, because like I said, we couldn't afford it. But, you know, and I'm like, here I am in AT&T Stadium, witnessing happening right there in front of me, Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon. And then what happens? Okay, let's be real here. It wasn't the best stunner in the whole world, but holy moly, you guys, freaking Stone Cold stunned Vince McMahon, and it was amazing. I literally lost my ish. Like, you could hear, I don't know if I've posted it yet, but I'll have to post some videos up and stuff like that for you guys to hear, like some of my reactions and stuff like that. But I literally lost it with the whole Stone Cold Vince thing, because guys, literally for me, that was literally my childhood, literally. And again, being able to get to see that live when I never thought I would get to, Jesus, man. Oh, it was incredible. That right there made everything worth it, you guys. It was incredible to get to experience that, to get to witness that, to get to live through that. It is something I will never forget, ever. It was magical, you guys. It was incredible. So, needless to say, I was beyond happy with WrestleMania. It was, like I said, it exceeded my expectations. It was a lot better than what I thought it was going to be. And for me, that was, my first WrestleMania, my first real WrestleMania, you know, post the pandemic. Because, I mean, last year, you know, we had it here in Tampa, but it wasn't the full WrestleMania experience. I think the last full WrestleMania experience that I had was WrestleMania 35. So for me, this WrestleMania was my first real WrestleMania post-pandemic, as far as getting the full experience and everything like that. So that was awesome. It was incredible. And it makes me super excited for, you know, WrestleMania next year in LA, which I can't wait, you guys. Like, I'm already planning, because I've never been to LA. So I'm like literally like just waiting for them to go ahead and like, okay, tickets are up for sale or like whatever, because I definitely have to be there. Let me go ahead and just wrap up and probably the reason why most of you are like now here and stuff like that. So I ended up going to Raw because I got excited, because at first I wasn't going to go. But then when everything happened with, you know, the American Nightmare over here, I was like, okay, so I'm hopeful now for Raw, because it's been a couple of years where we've had, you know, a good Raw after Mania. Because let's face it, guys, I mean, it's been a good couple of years where, you know, Raw after Mania was like the show. And I remember back in the day, it was like literally you had to be at the Raw after Mania, because there was going to be call-ups, there was going to be, you know, surprises and all of that. But we hadn't gotten that. And so, but once, you know, they made the announcement about Cody and that he was going to be there, I was like, okay, heck yeah, like I'm ready. And for me, guys, the only thing that was good about Raw for me personally was the opening with Cody and getting to hear his speech. I'm sorry, for me, guys, I was extremely disappointed with Raw. It was not good. It was not good. And I was honestly really bummed out. And I'm like, really? Like, this is why I decided to stay an extra day so I can see a bunch of rematches and an advertisement for SmackDown. I'm like, oh man. But then we had the match right now that people have been talking about, and that's the dark match between Mr. Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. And oh my goodness, that freaking match was awesome. As most of you guys have already seen already, I enjoyed it. That match alone literally saved Raw for me, because otherwise I would have been like, what the heck am I doing here? Like, why did I decide to come to Raw and stuff like that? So yeah, the match was great, and that right there, it makes me excited for what I know now is going to be, you know, a rivalry between the two of them. So that's going to be fantastic to see on air. So I can't wait to see what they do with that. So, but yeah, guys, that pretty much wraps up my whole Mania week. And I will have to tell you guys, and I am not joking, I legit lost my voice. Like, I'll go ahead and try to post up some videos and stuff so that way you guys can see and hear. Like, and I apologize in advance, because I'm telling you guys, my voice was gone. Like, really gone. I mean, I was literally like, yelling and screaming and cheering and booing, like, everything, like literally 5 days straight, guys. That's a lot. Okay, that's a lot on my voice. And man, but you know what, I would do it all over again, because that's how much fun I had, guys. I mean, there's nothing like the magic of wrestling. There's nothing like, you know, the magic of WrestleMania. It truly is a spectacle. And again, there's so much other wrestling going on besides, you know, WWE, that you get the opportunity to witness and experience. And for me, that's what happened last year, because before that, otherwise I would have never known. I would have never known about, you know, GCW. So like I said, there's all these alternatives and all these options for you guys. And I really feel like us as wrestling fans, man, we are seriously so spoiled. And I am loving every second of it, you guys. So, but all right, you guys, thanks so much for stopping by and checking me out. And if you guys, please hit that like for me, like, share, subscribe. And again, thank you guys so much for the support. And to all of my new subscribers, you guys are awesome. I heart you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you guys enjoy. And I will be posting up some clips and some videos of some of the matches and stuff like that from Mania week. So that way you guys can check it out, like it, share it, all that good stuff. So you guys take care. Thank you guys again. Have a wonderful day, night, and I will see you guys next time. And remember, guys, wrestling is life. Bye.